And
That's fair. Now let me get my rebuttal. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying 100%. Am I fully blaming her? Absolutely not. Again, no man should put his hands on a woman, period, or child, period, point blank, period. Now, the damaging part of saying what it is that you're saying is we are now continuing to blind women to the real world, to the facts of what is going on. If we keep telling women that, oh, you shouldn't have to worry about being a victim in a world where people are victims, we're causing more damage. So I'm more so saying this
Where
in
did AP and where did I
the,
say that you shouldn't prepare women to know that there's
I'm addressing
predators?
AP. I'm addressing
Okay.
what AP is saying. All that I'm saying is that if these signs are showing, if somebody is clearly showing you that they're manipulating you in a negative sense, then walk away. The money, the fame, whatever it is, it's not worth it. Just walk away while you still can. Because if you continue to wait, if you continue to take the money, if you continue to go on the red carpets, then that's going to make it seem as if you're with it. You're willingly putting yourself in this position, and I get it. Women don't want to hear it. I get it. But the
no,
truth
I
I
of the
do.
matter
truly,
I
is,
I
no,
get
let me
you.
let me
no.
no, let me finish. Let me finish. The truth of the matter is that in many cases, women unknowingly or knowingly put themselves in positions where they can easily become a victim. And all it is that I'm saying is that we, as a community, as black men and black women, we have to take the accountability of teaching our younger generations and even the generations that we're a part of, because they're still making the same decisions, of making better decisions, of being able to gauge and see these things happening beforehand, and even listening to people tell them, hey, this isn't a route that you should be going. That's
So
all that I'm saying.
it absolutely, I
I'll wait
understand
my turn.
I understand what you're saying, but it's the same community that screams submission. Women, you need to submit to the
Women
man. You
should,
know,
you should submit to your husband. If you married, you should
listen.
absolutely
Look,
submit.
no,
I don't
don't
understand why that's a
so,
problem.
so I completely understand what you're saying. We get that, okay? But what we're saying is we all, and I think that that's men too, always we get ourselves in some situations that we can't get ourselves out of, right? We've all been a victim of it. Nobody's perfect. You had a vice that you just couldn't get yourself out of. Nobody is free of that. So sometimes you got to think about that vice that you probably had in your life that took and you just couldn't get yourself, because we gotta remember this
The,
wasn't just
the,
happening to Cassie, it was some
the,
men who was getting stuck as
the,
well. Okay,
the, the
we've seen that.
difference the
So
difference in that is that I didn't blame anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Whatever vice it was that I got myself in, I blame myself for that. It
what
wasn't another man, it wasn't another woman. It was my own fault. So you know what I'm saying? That's the
so what
difference
we
in
can
my
do,
opinion.
so what we can do is everything in hindsight. We got strong, we were strong in hindsight, right? We can always look back at, and that's what Cassie did. She looked back now that she's in a better place, and she's able to say, this is, I shouldn't have done that, you know. And so we're all strong in that moment. But when you were living the moment, if it was video, when you were living that moment and it's video and it's in your face again, you could be like, damn, why did I do that? Why wasn't I a little stronger? Everything, people don't like to live. Like, I
So
want you to,
you make decisions without being aware of the decisions that you make. Is
do
that what
so
you're
when
saying?
we sit here and we talk about penis discipline, right? Or we talk
Yeah,
about anything that people have there's a vice in you, right? People are human beings.
right.
We all make poor decisions. It's the same reason why a chick is living with a dude for 10 years right now. That dude ain't got no good for her. You feel me?
And they willingly made that decision. That's
Right.
my
So what I'm
point.
saying to you is there is more to it than that. It's just how people people have to work through. That's the reason why people go to therapy. It's so everybody has an excuse for everything, right? It's the reason why you're not successful. It's the reason why you ain't got this. It's always something that you're into that you feel like, oh dang, I should have done something a little bit better. And this
And
may
it's
be a
always your
situation.
fault.
We're not saying that. But what we so just like you're saying it's her fault, we need you to put a little bit of that on Diddy. It's
I
his fault.
did. I'm not
Then
taking
it's his fault. It is his fault that he beat that girl up in the hallway.
I agree. The nigga is a
She was
coward.
trying to get away. She was literally trying to get away, and he ran after her to put them hands on her. So, with that being said, she was trying to move. She was going that way. He ran behind her and did this to her. Okay, so that's all we're saying. You emphasizing what she should have done, and meanwhile, the person who's running after her, you just ignoring
I
all that.
started off the conversation with saying the
Nah,
nigga is a
nah,
coward.
nah. You sound
When-
like you an abuser. You like to enable abusers.
No, listen,
What?
no,
That's what it
listen,
sounds like. I'm just
What are you
saying.
listening to?
I hear what you're saying. Okay, after I empathize with her, after he said that he was a coward, Diddy, you should have said Diddy's a coward. You're right. So directly, right? Um, the next thing you can do is say, you know what? What's the teachable moment, right? We can learn from this. Young girls, don't just go for flashy and don't go for the money. Like it's always a cost. I'm going to Dubai. It's always something behind it, you know. And so therefore, she can learn from her mistakes and say, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit too easily influenced by money and power, success, fame. I wanted to be in the limelight so bad. And it's every single time that you hear the story, it's like, hey, you really want to be an actor? You really want to be this? You want to sit on my couch? All of these things, even grown men are susceptible to these things. So imagine a woman. So that shows you the vulnerability of a young person. I don't know why they keep using young people. They love young people because it's so much easier to manipulate them, and and women as well. So women are like this sensitive creature to me because if you can get her emotions wrapped up, then you can get her, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's very important that because I know what it's like to be in a certain situation where it's like, you know what, now that it's over, I do regret falling for that. Now that it's over, maybe I shouldn't have went that route. Now that it's over, maybe I want to tell my daughters, like, hey, don't fall for this and don't fall for that, and take accountability. So I'm not sitting there trying to give 100% blame to the perpetrator. Guess what? I realize you're not that powerful after coming out, but when you're in it, you swear that person is God, right? But then the
I,
tables do turn, and everybody needs to know that if you're a perpetrator, the tables do turn, and Cassie got you by the balls now. So just remember that, and so
I,
we have to remember that as women, that we do have power and we don't have to be weak. And but we, like you said, it was hard to get herself out of it. Things take time, and you got to really, really hit rock bottom and say, I'm worth it, and love yourself. So that's what I said.
that's fair. And again, I 100% agree with everything that you said. Now, please, with the message that I'm giving, and maybe I'm not giving it in a way where is empathetic to women, but don't listen to it with your ego. Actually listen to the message that I'm saying. All that I'm saying is that we all as adults, if you have a working brain, you're able to make decisions in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you're blinded by love or whatever the case may be, because I've been in the same boat. And I understand that it may be more or deeper for women or whatever the case. I get it. But at the end of the day, we all have the ability to make our own decisions in the moment. In the moments where I've made some of the dumbest decisions I've ever made in life, I was fully aware of me making that decision in that moment, and I justified it for myself in that moment. Even though I was so submerged in it, I was still able to say, okay, if I make this decision, I know that this is going to be the outcome from it. And all that I'm saying is that men and women need to take the accountability of being aware of what is going on in that moment, because every decision that we make is going to affect us in some type of way in the future. So if we want to make the most and the best out of our lives, then that is how it is that we have to approach it. That's all that I'm saying.
And I call
Let
it
me
making the
let me
skill of
let me. Can
hard
I say
decisions.
something really
It was the
fast?
last thing.
Go ahead, Shan. I mean, go ahead, Ruth.
It was the last thing. I was just saying what Viz was talking about is the skill to make hard decisions. I had to teach myself and learn that. A lot of people in America, we don't want to make the tough choice. And when you get really good, you get to walk away. It took me a very long time to walk away from a very bad situation, but it was in the moment. Like I had so many red flags, like do it now, do it now, do it now. Still going back, still. I had a split second. I was like, you know what? This thought, and I was done. And from then on, I learned how to make hard decisions. And your life gets much better when you do that. That's all. Casey.